Stranger Things fans, we've officially made it to the home stretch. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm as excited as ever to have this page because today I get to break down the trailer for the 5th and final season of Stranger Things in a detailed breakdown, like I said. So I'm gonna get into it here. Before I do that, like this video, subscribe to the channel for more content related to Stranger Things 5 as we ramp up to and get the final season, which isn't too far away at this point. I just want to say off the bat here also that this trailer lived up to expectations for me. They had a lot of recycled stuff from the teasers, but that's kind of what I expected and would honestly prefer because it is the final season. I don't want too much given away, and obviously they know they can't give too much away, so I think it was pretty perfect for what it was supposed to be, and definitely a lot of new stuff here that I'm excited to kind of sort through and give my opinion on. So if you've watched my past teaser breakdowns, it's going to be pretty similar here. I'm just going to go frame by frame throughout the whole video, so this might get a little lengthy here, but hey, that's the nature of it. So starting out, we get this first flash of what appears to be the public library in Hawkins in the Upside Down. And the very next clip is of Vecna saying, like, finally, we can begin. And so it appears he's, like, talking to other monsters in the Upside Down. Like, at first I thought Vecna was this first creature right here off to the right, but I think that's like a Demogorgon sitting down, like getting ready to talk to Vecna, who then walks in from the back. So I thought that was, like, not funny obviously, but like when I rewatched it to prepare for this breakdown here, I was like, wait, that's a Demogorgon, like sitting down like that? Like, it literally looked like a human. So that was interesting. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on in this first clip here. It looks like Vecna, after some time off, is just gathering up the troops here, kind of giving them a pep talk and saying it's time to start. And then next we get a couple flashes of Dustin pulling up to Hawkins High School still on his bike, and then we get him kind of walking in the hallways quickly, seemingly trying to just get to where he's going. Not too much notable going on here. We know that from other pictures and other leaks that soon after here he's going to kind of get bullied by some of the jocks again, pushing him up against his locker. I'm assuming that's kind of in sequence with this scene. He's going to walk in there, get to his locker, get bullied. So we kind of know the sequence of events and what's coming with this here. But otherwise, nothing too crazy going on. What we'd expect of Dustin, seeing him in his new Season 5 outfit here. We also get a quick flash now of the wreckage in Hawkins. Once again, nothing else too crazy to break down here. It does seem like they've kind of repaired and at least made it look like the real world again without those gaping stretches of just a gap in the earth essentially. So I guess that's what the military has come in and do, and obviously we know they've set up base right in downtown Hawkins where the rift was opened. Now we get Mike and 11 at the WSQK radio station. I'm gonna imagine this is in episode 1 or 2, pretty early on here, and he's talking about how they're starting to lose it, being trapped here with no end in sight. So I'm guessing the military is kind of like confining people in certain zones, and they're not able to leave because whatever they're doing here with their operation relating to what they're plotting at WSQK, it's kind of like under the nose of the military. But I'm not exactly sure how all the logistics of this are working out. Like, I don't know if where they're at, the military is surveilling them because they know they're like people of interest in this, and that they may know where 11 is, which I know is still part of the equation. So a lot of ways this could go. I don't know why they're like trapped here, as he says, or whatever. I know that they're monitoring the downtown area pretty heavily, but obviously there's some type of monitoring of them going on here as well. That makes them feel trapped. And then indeed it does flash to the military with these fences serving as barricades, so maybe they're within that barricade and can't really go anywhere. I guess that's what he'd probably be referring to. Also think it's notable to say real quick that that conversation they're having on the rooftop, we now know what some of the subject matter that's going to be, as many Byler enthusiasts kind of thought it would be the breakup scene between Mike and 11. I personally never thought that was coming in that scene or really at all, but it doesn't appear that's what they're talking about, at least right there. Next, we get a quick flash of at least Joyce and 11 down in the tunnels. Now, there may be more people coming behind them, but these are the main two we can see here, and it looks like it may be the first time they're seeing these tunnels because Joyce's face looks pretty surprised here. Then we get Nancy and Jonathan moving something out of the way as Steve looks on, seemingly in the WSQK radio station, probably just like the barricade they have in front of the path to the downstairs area, I'd guess. Next, we have 11 in the Upside Down with honestly kind of like a rare Hopper sighting in this trailer. He's not in it all that much, just this and a couple other little clips compared to a lot of the other main characters. So I feel like they're trying to keep his purpose pretty hidden here, but they're just looking around in the Upside Down, surrounded by kind of like this fogginess and a lot of vines, of course, as we're used to, both having their flashlights out and trying to investigate or look for something. I don't know if they're like directly looking for Vecna right now, like the source, but they might be looking for something else that would clue them into his whereabouts or other monsters that they want to take down first. Or they might just be navigating to Hawkins' lab. I feel like that could still play into all this. I know we see in the last teaser trailer the grouping of Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, and Dustin pull up to Hawkins' lab, but I can't help but think 11 is going to have to go there to do something, and who better to be there with her than Hopper, which we know they go on a lot of missions together this season already. But anyway, moving on, next we get one of the biggest group shots we see in this entire trailer of Mike kind of being the leader, as Will depicts him as in season 4, the heart of the group. Mike kind of seems to be, heading this conversation, leading the group, kind of going over the plan and encouraging, saying, we can do this together. We can find Vecna and take him down if we stay together. On the left side, you have in order from closest to furthest, Steve, Nancy, Jonathan, and Robin. And on the right side, you have the 4 boys and Joyce. 3 of the 4 boys and Joyce. Lucas, Dustin, Will, and Joyce at the end. So we got 9 characters all right here. Once again, seemingly in the basement of the WSQK radio station. I'm going to assume that they're still there, and this is still pretty early on in the game, but it's cool seeing Mike as that leader, and Mike was a top 3 character for me in the first couple seasons. I always loved him and still do, and I just hope he gets back to being as confident and as awesome a character as he was with the energy he brought in the first couple seasons. And from how involved he is in this trailer, maybe the one that gets like the most screen time, him and 11, I think he's going to be awesome again in this final season. Then we get 11 looking badass in her blue bandana, looking on as there's some red upside down lightning. It seems like she's going to be in the upside down a lot in this season, probably in the middle stretch and maybe even near the end. I mean, I guess a lot of the season might just take place down there. Then she runs and runs toward an area that it seems like she's supposed to keep out of. I'm going to guess it's some type of small military base where they have some equipment or something that they just don't want anyone to get into. And 11, as we saw in the teaser where she's kind of like seemingly training herself to try to fly in the junkyard, well, here it looks like she has honed those abilities and is more powerful than ever, and indeed is just going to fly right over this gate into this confined area where she's not really supposed to be, but obviously she's got some business in there she needs to take care of. So she's flying in there, looks as awesome as ever. I'm just so excited to see this actually on the screen. It's going to be so cool. Then we get the WSQK radio station here with the WSQK squawk van pulling up to it, probably being driven by Murray and maybe Robin in the passenger seat, just from context clues we've gotten from prior leaks and images and stuff like that. And I also just want to shout out that I went on a Stranger Things filming location tour earlier this year, and when I was there in January, like right after filming ended, they were already tearing this set down as I was there. And just want to shout out, I was there, and it's so cool seeing it on screen now after having seen it in person, though. Then real quick here, we get Mike looking on to Joyce. Joyce is clearly in a lot of distress, just knowing this is going to be quite a tough experience to get through, probably worrying for her sons like she always does once again, and just for everyone involved, because this is going to be a scary mission to try to pull off for the crew. Then we get a little bit of video from this scene we already knew was happening at this picnic table between the 4 boys, because we saw prior pictures and stuff. But Mike seemingly places 2 characters down on a map. Now, I don't know if these are D&D characters. I'm not like a D&D expert, so if you want to break down something like that, I don't really have that in my bag. But he's putting 2 characters on this map that says Day of Disaster at the top. Now, I don't know exactly what this is. I don't know if this is a map of something relevant in Hawkins. It looks like a map of some sort. I see the words Chestnut on it and like a couple other road type of names. So I feel like he might be using like D&D figures or maybe just some random little figures he has. But I don't think this is like part of a D&D game. I think he's positioning these little characters in the town just to give a little example of what type of maneuvers they're going to make in the town with whatever plan they're scheming. Then we get the other three boys, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, kind of talking and messing around in the background as they somehow, as always, don't notice Will looking away in distress. Looks like he sees something. Is it a sign from Vecna? Is he getting the tingle in his neck? Is he having visions again, similar to how he did in Season 2 when he would walk, out of the arcade or out into the field at school because something is luring him away and he just can't resist but to go look at it? I don't know, but they don't seem to notice at this very moment. I'm sure they will within a few seconds, but interested to see what he's kind of gazing at here in this scene. Then we get a scene of 11 and Mike, which once again we already saw the standstill photos of, but she's finishing up her quote where she's saying, this isn't like your D&D games, you can't write out the ending, not this time. And something interesting about this that I didn't notice in the pictures, I guess it probably would have been there the same, but Mike's face has a little bruise by his right eye. I didn't notice that. I know in previous photos, and for a while now, we've known that Dustin is going to kind of be banged up in the face, probably from being beat up by the bullies when he goes to visit Eddie's grave. That's what I'm assuming. It looks like Mike, something happened to his face too here. I don't know if he just fell or got in a scrap with some monster or tried to defend Dustin from the bullies. I don't know what's going on, but Mike's face is also a bit bruised. And once again, all signs in these scenes, in my opinion, and what they're saying kind of point toward Mike and 11 staying together. Once again, not trying to pound that nail in, but I know that's just a big topic among the Stranger Things community. But if they are, putting a Mike and 11 breakup in here, they're definitely doing a good job of hiding it. And I'm not sure when it would happen, but just these scenes kind of don't give me that feeling. Here's Nancy and Jonathan looking up at the upside down kind of opening and closing, and the materials of it kind of morphing into something new, and the colors of it look really awesome. Then we get this cool shot of Robin we've gotten multiple times already, though, of her looking up at the particles going through the tower at the radio station. During all this, Nancy's talking about how Vecna's not going to stop until they're drained of every last ounce of suffering. And so it also flashes to her kind of going on this rant real quick in this pink sweater, and then washing the blood off of her hands into the sink, which we got in a prior teaser as well. Still wondering whose blood this is. I doubt it's that of our main characters. I think it's more likely that she just had to kill a monster and have a near-death experience, and she's just crying, pretty emotional about that. I guess it could be after she saw someone die, but I don't think they would even show us that, even though that doesn't give away who it is at all. I think this is the blood of a monster, in my opinion, though. And then we yet again, this period here kind of has a lot of recycled shots. This one is where Dustin is hugging Steve again, just like we got in the teaser trailer, I believe. So, same thing. Didn't get much of Steve in this teaser, or in this full trailer, I should say. I'd say the characters that seemed the least in this, of the main characters, of course, Karen wasn't in it that much, but of the main characters, I'd say Steve wasn't in it all that much. Hopper wasn't in this all that much. Erica only gets one shot, one or two, which I haven't even got to yet. And then, of course, Max isn't in it a lot, but they're not really trying to reveal what's going on with her whatsoever. So I thought they might show something of her in the void in her mind, but they didn't even do that in this trailer. We'll get to the one thing she's in where Lucas is holding her. But yeah, those are the four main characters that in this I think aren't shown too much. Definitely a little less than I thought, especially for Steve and Hopper, but I'm sure they'll be involved. It just didn't quite fit into this, being able to tell this little story within 2 minutes here, getting us hyped up. But yeah, I'd say the most involved were definitely, like I've kind of mentioned, Mike, 11. You're getting a lot of Will too, of course. Dustin and Lucas, pretty involved. Nancy and Jonathan also in this a lot. So, yeah, that's kind of how I'd summarize how much we saw, the characters in this. Also, Robin wasn't in this too much, but a lot of those original core members are still in it a whole lot. Next, we have 11 sliding down the side of this roof at this guarded facility, or if not guarded, fenced off facility. And so looking pretty cool. I don't know if this was a stunt double or what, but if not, then Millie Bobby Brown, she went to work this season for sure. Either way, she did. Then, once again, another recycled shot. We get a little bit more to it this time, seeing 11 kind of, tighten her fists and push with her powers like she always does. But, once again, not too much more to break down here. It's just her and Hopper somewhere, I believe, resisting the military, kind of fighting off that problem for now. So don't know what all the logistics are going to be of this, of course, still, until we actually see it. But still cool to get a little bit more context into this scene, at least a couple more seconds. And man, I can't say it enough. She just looks so locked in here, bro. I think we're going to get peak Millie Bobby Brown again. Nothing against season 4 in her performance. It was good. It was great. But I don't think it was peak Millie. I think we're going to get her in her best bag, though, again in season 5. Just like a lot of these actors, I think they know they had to give a legendary performance for this. And then we get her using her powers and kind of yelling as she does it, simultaneously going into like these waves being shot out from what appears to be Hawkins' lab. And so I don't know if that's actually going to be simultaneous like in the show, or if they just aligned that up to look cool in the trailer. I bet that's probably the case. But either way, we got like these red waves coming out from the top of Hawkins' lab and just radiating for as far as you can see. What exactly this is, where it's going, how it's happening, I don't really know, but it's epic looking, and I can't wait to see it on the screen, that's for sure. And then it like turns blue as Hopper appears to be looking up at whatever this crap is. I honestly have no clue, guys. Like, I'm trying to break this down, but some of it is just so over my head. Like, what is this? I don't know. Are those radio waves? Is that like electricity? I have no clue. Then we get Jonathan and Nancy here putting their heads together. I know we already got this glimpse a while back as well. I don't know. I'm leaning more and more toward them not breaking up either. So maybe there won't be as much relationship controversy as we think in this final season. Maybe they're just going to focus on the monsters and the problems at hand. And I guess that makes sense, you know, but I don't know. I've already said with Mike and 11, I'm not getting any signs that they're going to split up. Jonathan and Nancy, they seem kind of strong and like they're still going to be really tight in this final season supporting each other. So I don't know. I guess that can still happen as friends, but we'll see. And then we get a little bit more of a live look into the POV from the Demogorgon and Lucas in this scene where he seems to be down in the tunnels and the Demogorgon drops down and is about to come after him. Still wondering why he's alone here, why he already has blood on his shirt, and where the friends are that are going to save him, because you got to think they're going to come in here any second to pull him out of there. At least I hope so. And then at this point, it wouldn't be a season of Stranger Things without Nancy walking down Wheeler with a gun. I mean, she keeps leveling up. I mean, now she has an assault rifle shooting something. I don't know if she's shooting a military person or a Demogorgon. It's kind of hard to tell from this clip here. I've watched it over and over, and I can't tell. It's just kind of fuzzy what she's shooting into. I don't know. Would she really be shooting a military personnel? That would be kind of wild. I mean, I know they're kind of against them, but sheesh, I don't know. Well, like I feel like they know that bullets can't do much to a Demogorgon. So would Nancy at this point in season 5 be trying to shoot a Demogorgon? I mean, unless you hit it like down its throat, it doesn't really affect it. So I feel like she might be shooting military personnel. That's kind of crazy, but just love the graphics of this scene too. Seems like she's in downtown Hawkins at this point, not really at the radio station, so for whatever reason she's involved in downtown. Here we get a shot of Dustin, Nancy, and Jonathan looking up at something frightening, it appears. I'm gonna assume Steve is in this scene with them too, because I don't think Dustin would be with Nancy and Jonathan without Steve, because like I said, we've seen that character grouping being a thing, but Steve must just not have gotten a good shot in this to put in the trailer, but I bet he's there with them with this. You see Nancy with the shotgun shells seemingly strapped around her, so she's all strapped up and ready to go. Everybody seems like they're kind of in their war gear at this point, and man, I feel bad for Dustin. I feel like he's going to go through it in every single way of the season, like the grief from Eddie, getting beat up, being in the midst of some of the craziest stuff. I'm worried for Dustin, I'm not going to lie. Originally, way back when, because we've been waiting so long, I've made so many videos about who I think is going to die and stuff. I originally had Dustin. I've waned off of that now, but it's still in the back of my mind, and I think it could happen. This, from what I saw minimally online today since I was at work, does appear to be one of the most talked about scenes here. We see a scene of a lot of like floating rocks in what we think is the Upside Down, of course, and it's reminiscent of like what Henry Creel 1 Vecna showed us from him kind of discovering the Upside Down with this picture I'm flashing up right now. Anyway, we see like a body falling from the sky with lightning here. Is this Will? Is this a flashback to him in the Upside Down? Is this Holly Wheeler for some reason? Is this one of our other characters? I don't know if it would make sense for anyone else other than Will, honestly. So I'm thinking it's Will kind of flashing back to the experience he had in the Upside Down. Or maybe it's one of our fallen characters and showing how they got like sent there. I don't know. That's just a thought. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, who you think's fallen from the sky there. I know that's one of the kind of things to debate about this because everything else is pretty cut and clear. As we're going through these clips, Dustin's saying, we stay together. We stay true to our friends no matter the cost. And so some moving words from Dustin there. Looks like he might be motivating some people as well as Mike was earlier in this. And then we get this right here, this picture that I'm throwing up of Jonathan. Kind of in the middle of a group hug here, it appears. Now, the people that I definitely think are in this group hug are Dustin, Jonathan, 11, who we can see on the back right very clearly. I believe that's Lucas in the back left. Now, who is like in Jonathan's hand here that he's like cupping their head? I think that's Will, but I don't really know. I mean, it doesn't really like look like Will, but it isn't Mike. Mike would have longer hair. It's not Nancy. Nancy would be shorter and have longer hair. It's not Steve. Like, I don't know. I think it's Will, right? Is that what you guys think? Then we get a rare shot of Erica here. I don't even think she's in it any other time, so they must have just felt bad and thought they had to put her in here. I mean, I'm glad. I want to see her. Her outfit's pretty cool. But, dang, is Erica not going to be that involved here? Or is she not going to have, like, a central role in what's going on? I mean, she was so involved with the Creel House stuff in Season 4 in the underground Russian base mission related to Starcourt Mall in Season 3. You'd think she'd be involved in the plan here, using her skills. I mean, she's a smart girl. Maybe they just don't want to endanger her, though. Like she said in Season 3, it is quite child endangerment. So then we get Nancy, Will, and Jonathan seemingly driving through a neighborhood through a fence here. Nancy's telling Steve, do it, and then he steps on the gas and really kicks it into gear here. And as we know, there's some type of radio antenna on top of the car, so that's going to factor in greatly to communication with the crew, or probably something grander that I don't have the bandwidth to wrap my head around here, but it's going to be important, I'll tell you that. And everything is going to come back to that radio station, I know it. Here we get 11 fending off some debris, and honestly, man, she just looks like a superhero. I mean, she can fly. She's freaking just going crazy. I mean, she looks awesome. Like I said, I think Millie's going to bring it this season. This looks really cool. I'm wondering if this is in one of the fights with Vecna, one of the big fights, because they did say there's clips in this from every episode of the season. I feel like this could be one of the later episodes where she's in combat with Vecna. That'd be really cool. Then we get an explosion of some sorts. A bunch of troops appear to be falling down. Not sure if they're dead or just knocked out or what's going on here. I wouldn't be surprised if this is correlating with the scene we've seen where Hopper is like throwing the grenades up and then it's blasting a bunch of people. I know the other shot we got was of the guys like outside, but maybe these guys were also up in some room that's being affected by Hopper's grenade throw as well. Or this could be something entirely different, but that's just kind of me connecting the dots, knowing they're not trying to reveal too many separate scenes here, so maybe that could correlate to this. Then we get a Demogorgon charging at Lucas, holding Max in what appears to be an elevator. He's also holding a radio, maybe trying to still keep music within reach at all times to help her. I'm not sure if it's still going to be Running Up That Hill that is a song that helps her, or if he just has the radio for communication with the group, but seems like it could still be to help Max musically, and she's still not up, so I'm thinking this is in Volume 1. Also, side note here, I love that sweater Lucas has. I have like the red version of that already, but I want to buy the blue one, but I don't see it anywhere, so got to keep my eye out for that. Then we get Holly falling onto Karen here. Once again, this is probably just the recycling of that similar scene that we've seen of Holly and Karen in the Wheeler house. Nevertheless, cool to see an action shot of it. Then we get Linda Hamilton, the seemingly head of the military in Hawkins, looking pretty good in uniform. Excited to see what role she plays in restricting our group, maybe chasing after 11 and trying to hold down these monsters. Seemingly unsuccessfully at some point, but I wonder if she'll die at some point or if she'll somehow survive and help the crew at the end. I don't know. I feel like she's going to be really important because she's such a big name actress entering the scene in this last season. Then we've seen this scene several times. Mike kind of holding back a few characters we don't really know here. We know Derek Turnbow at this point. We don't know the girl on the right. We don't know the girl on the left, but Mike's a goat. He's going to protect him anyway. They're all innocent people. And then Joyce is holding Will in the back, who's clearly down bad and struggling here. I feel bad for him for sure. And then this is one of my favorite shots of the entire trailer. It's just so intense as it's moving along here. This is just a standstill that I have up on screen, but oh my gosh, you got Derek Turnbow looking on as Joyce and Mike try to hold up Will. But also Mike's like, hey, look out. There's like a Demogorgon flying in the air after us as military personnel try to shoot it down in the background. This is just epic, man. This is definitely where stuff starts to heat up this season for sure. Then we get a series of images here with explosions and gunshots and Demogorgons seemingly taking over the town. And then it pans to Vecna in all of his infamous glory in his new kind of costume redesign here, looking extra spiky, just extra creepy, if it's even possible. With all these dead military members in the background too, to boot. I mean, he's already like killed everyone. And here he's telling Will, come over to me, little boy. I'm not done with you yet. I need your help one last time. That's essentially what he says. Wait, what does he actually say here? He says, William, you are going to help me one last time. As Will is just like sweating out of it. Gosh, I really wish I could just tell you guys and predict what the dynamic is here. Like, is Will just completely possessed by Vecna again? Like, is that what this is? Or has Will already developed powers at this point that we're seeing this crazy scene and he's trying to resist? He can kind of fight back, but Vecna's still more powerful. I don't know, guys. I just can clearly tell that Will is going to be the focal point here. He is going to be the answer to all of our problems and of who's going to be able to make it out of the season alive. If Will can come through with some powers that he can harness that he hasn't been able to tap into yet, I think we might be looking good. But if it comes too late, I think there will be great losses for the crew, including maybe himself. So, but clearly Vecna has a bigger purpose for Will, not just to kill him, to use him as part of his plotting. And man, this is intense. That is the end of the trailer breakdown. The rest of it's just telling us when it's releasing and everything. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I tried to break it down well, but of course, as always, I don't know what's coming. I'm a big Stranger Things fan. I've seen the show as much, if not more, than like anybody on earth, to be honest with you. I've watched it an embarrassing amount of times, but I don't care. I love it that much. And I'm doing another rewatch right now in honor of the final season, of course. But all that to say, with even how much I've seen this show, I don't know what's going on. I mean, who knows what's happening in this final season when it comes down to it. We know a couple things here and there. Altogether, though, I just wanted to go through this, look at some cool shots, and maybe get a couple ideas about what's coming. I think Dustin's in trouble. I think Will is key. I think Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown, among others, are going to give some of their best, most mature and intense performances of this show and of their career so far. And we still didn't get much on Max here. Thought we'd maybe get something, like something little, because we know she's going to be in the season. She's not just going to be carried around in a coma all 8 episodes. But honestly, it's probably for the better that they leave that as a shocking reveal when she does wake up or when she's in a void or whatever's going on with her. But I know they had a greater plan than just bring her back for no reason. So, but that's it, guys. I appreciate you watching. As always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment your thoughts on the trailer and anything I missed. Once again, I didn't get down with my magnifying glass and look at like super enhanced details and stuff to find like just like random facts, but generally I went over the scenes and yeah, I could talk about this all day, but I'm gonna leave it there. See you guys later. Peace.